So today we'll talk about arrays. So far you've learned how to define single variables and to assign values to those single variables. Arrays allow you to represent large collections of data, not just a single variable. So let's create one. We will declare an array by first specifying its data type. In this case, we want to have an array of integers. The square brackets would represent that this is an array, and then we would give it a name. So this declares a new variable called numbers, which is an array of type int. It hasn't been created yet, it has just been declared. So let's create it. To create it, you would say numbers equals to new int, and you specified the size of the array. So with this, we have declared an array of size 10 of numbers of type integer. Now let's set elements of this array. To set the first element of this array, which would be numbers 0, to the value 1, let's say, you would do it as follows. To set the last element of this array, which will be numbers 9, to 1, you would do it as follows. Now, this part here is often called an index variable, just like you have normal variables. Referring to individual elements of an array is called an indexed variable. An easier way to initialize the elements of an array is to do it with a loop. And here a for loop comes particularly handy. So to initialize all the elements of numbers to the value 1, with a for loop you would do it as follows. You say for int I equal to 0, I less than, we want to stop when we reach the end of the array. So you get the end of the array is represented by the length of the array. And then with every iteration, we want to increment I by 1. And within the loop, we would simply do numbers I is equal to 1. There. We can do something more interesting by setting each element of the array to a random number between 1 and 100. If you recall, we do that as follows. Now let's use another for loop to print this array. All right. Clean up a little bit, and let's run this. There. Now if you were to run it again, you'd get different values.